The majority of people out there have no sense of self-honesty. I mean, there's a reason why I have said this. I said this because of the fact that if we're truly going to get to the bottom of the self, the bottom of what's going on in the world, then you have to actually have what this thing called self-honesty. How many people can truly be self-honest about their flaws? No, because of the fact that people's ego, they have this overlay, this thing called ego, standing in the way. That's doesn't like it when it's what it thinks is actually erroneous or wrong. It doesn't like it. It's a self-defense mechanism where it's in denial. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that in this world around me, I actually am trying to say to myself, I've just been saying, not trying to, but I just been saying to myself, what we're going to do, because the majority of people out there have no sense of self-honesty for themselves. Maybe it's the lack of what it is. Like I said, this goes back to what I was talking about, the lack of integrity people have, or self-integrity. People need to truly be honest with themselves about their flaws. I mean, people all day want to talk about their positive aspects, but they won't talk about their negative aspects. And I mean from a place of pure honesty and objectivity. I mean, this doesn't mean to put yourself down, to be negative. It just means you have to understand everybody out there, no one's perfect, even including myself. I am not perfect by any means. I am not some angel, I'm some saint or something like that. I am not some kind of, I'll put it this way, I am not perfect. I have my struggles like everybody else. I am fighting a lot of emotional, mental stuff in this journey of self-healing and self-discovery and inner work. It's not easy. There's so many things about myself I have to change that I've been working on. And I'm honest enough to tell you that right there. Because how many people out there will tell you that in their lives? How many people will tell you such things that what I've told you? I mean, I'm the kind of person that can look in the mirror and sometimes say to myself, hey, today you were such a jackass. You were a piece of crap. What was wrong with you? I mean, I look at myself in the mirror and I go, yeah, you're right. Because I did do something crappy, and I was wrong for that. I can look at myself in the mirror and I can say when I'm wrong about something. You know, and there's going to be the jerk-offs out there that are going to be all thinking that I'm denying something. Well, that's not the case. You know, because of the fact that you're going to come at me with erroneous nonsense, and I go, well, I have to see if you're truly right on my own. I mean, sometimes, a lot of the things I've discovered was on my own, not because someone just told me. It sounds like a weird paradox. I mean, not paradox. I'm not. That's the wrong word. It sounds kind of ironic because the purpose of these videos is to try to actually put a new perspective into people's minds. And it's like I'm telling some people to do something, right? But I'm telling you things that you should do based on objective truth. Like people need to actually gain things such as courage, wisdom. They need to rebuild the inner aspects of themselves. You know, they need to actually awaken the positive forces from within themselves, the inner divine forces within themselves that they've been disconnected from because they're trapped in material consciousness, trapped in the five sense prison, so to speak. You know, that's why they feel lost, and that's why they actually are they're so prone, and it's so easy for them to, I gotta stop saying it's so easy to fall into salvationist programs, whether it be religious or secular. So because they think they need to find all these things outside themselves, which is an impossibility. I mean, I see a lot of these people subscribing to these things, but they're not looking, because yeah, it gets you far away from yourself. You're not looking inside yourself, and that keeps you away from being truly self-honest about yourself. Which, yeah, goes back to, hey, self-honesty. I don't know why I know why. But it just frustrates me that it is what it is when it comes to the fact that the majority of people on this planet have no sense of self-honesty about themselves when it comes to their negative aspects or their shadow aspects. You know, or which is an overlay within themselves. It's not their real consciousness, it's not the real them. The whole point of being self-honest is to acknowledge your faults so you can do something about them. You know, to approach it from more of a, it's not to aggressively fight it, but it's to actually just take care of it in a way that is, you have, that's hard to explain. I mean, the whole, what we're going to do about the shadow self. I mean, I always talk about how you can't approach it with anger and try to fight it face to head on. I mean, it's going to push back even harder. It's more like you have to acknowledge it and understand it and get to the roots of why you think the way you think. That's how you deal with it. There you go. That's how you deal with it. But anyways, if you truly say you want to make a difference in the world, and you want to change yourself, and you want to get to the bottom of things, then what good is it if you don't have any self-honesty? I mean, I hear of stories of so many so-called good people out there, so-called spiritual people out there, and these people actually don't have an iota of self-honesty with themselves, because you confront them on some of the things you confront them on their flaws, and they get defensive, and they do this and that, and they get angry. If you're getting angry when someone tells you things about yourself that's true, then that means that you have an issue with self-honesty. For example, if someone came up to me and I was looking like crap that day, I look at myself in the mirror, and yeah, and I look at myself and I say, man, I look like crap today because because I didn't groom myself or whatever. And someone said that to me, I go, well, yeah, of course. Tell me something else tell me something I don't know. And I may not want to risk saying that, because you got a lot of jackasses out there that think they're so witty. I mean, see, then again, it's like I said, it's these egoic people out there who are like that, who actually get satisfaction out of thinking they're so superior by doing that to people. But I mean, there's certain things about myself. I mean, if someone said that about me, I'm not going to get defensive, because that's true. Those things are true. I mean, why get defensive? Why get angry? Why get upset? This goes into the fact that, one thing I've been learning to do, which is one of the biggest challenges, but at least I've been making progress, is you can't let words hurt you. Now, if someone insults you or says something really messed up about you, you got to let it roll off. You can't, unfortunately, I'm still deprogramming these knee-jerk reactions within myself. You know, because like I said, I got a long journey trying to fix myself. You know, I have this long journey I have to deal with, and it's not easy, but it's worth it. Especially if you want to survive in this messed up world without losing your damn mind. And it's for the sake of you actually becoming more balanced within yourself and having more peace within yourself, and truly helping you get back to your raw inner core. You know, get past the overlay. That's the whole point, is you have to get past the overlays that are put on us when we come in and incarnate into this reality, and the overlays build, and stuff in the overlay build up. All these negative things we go through in life and all this stuff, it builds up, and it creates the identity of the overlay. You have to bypass the overlay. The overlay is the reason why people actually have no sense of self-honesty, because people identify way too much with their overlays, which is not their real personality, is not their real consciousness. That's the point of what I want to say when it comes to that. What it also comes down to is the fact that a lot of people out there don't want to be told that they could possibly be part of the problem. You know, I always talk about how we as a collective are sharing. A lot of people want to think karma is something that's purely individual. We don't understand that it's shared too. That our actions can affect other people, especially if people as a group actually condone such negative or positive actions. Then everybody is going to affect it. The whole thing of the sins visited upon the Father. Sins visited upon the Son from the Father. There's truth to that. What it means is the fact that, you know, your family's negative actions are going to affect their children. That's what it means. And you see that in the world over and over again, because this goes into that whole victim abuser cycle. I need to get more into the whole victim abuser cycle. I wrote a little bit about this on my website, 2 weeks ago, about how being a victim doesn't give you the pass to be a jerk-ass. Yeah, it doesn't give you the pass to be a jerk-ass. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyways, what I'm trying to say here is the fact that Yes, people's right and wrong actions are going to affect one another. See, this is the reason why people cannot just let BS slide, because you don't understand how people have a lot of thoughts, beliefs, and they take actions that affect other people, and it's going to affect everyone else in the whole entire aggregate in the long run or even the short term. When inaction happens in the face of injustice or wrongdoing, everybody's going to feel it, or at least going to feel the effects down the line, because there's usually sometimes a time lag or delay in those things happening, because the result hadn't manifested yet. It doesn't always manifest right there at that moment. What I'm trying to say is the fact that people have to act. Well, if we don't get this, if the human race does not embrace self-honesty, what chances do you have? Honest take here. What chances do you have? Empowering yourself is actually taking responsibility, and self-honesty is truly doing that. It's taking accountability, and it's assuming personal responsibility for your actions out there, and what goes through your head and your heart and comes out into the world through your speech or through your actions. That's what self-honesty is. That's why self-honesty is very important, because it's about taking accountability for your actions. Because when you're a free will being, you actually have to take accountability for all your actions, no matter why or you did it. It doesn't matter why you did it. It doesn't matter if you were victimized. You don't have the right to do anything wrong, no matter what, at all times. But people don't get this, because they think they somehow magically get a pass, because these people don't understand how how these universal laws work of conduct. You know? It's not a belief. It's a fact that's observable in the real world. You can observe it with other people. You can observe it with your personal life. If you have the self-honesty to assess all the negative things out there, or the negative things within yourself that you have done that is out there more so. If you have done that, then you'll be able to make sense of what I'm talking about. Because we have too many people out there running around acting like they're freaking victims, but due to their lack of self-honesty, you don't understand that they are the problem. Because I've been witness to people who do bad things in the world, or make wrong choices in their life, yet they want to blame someone else because they lack the self-honesty to look themselves in the mirror and say, I was the problem, or I am the problem, and I need to change. I need to change my attitudes. I need to change my perspective. I need to change what I believe. I have to change all these things. But they won't do that. And that's why they continue to suffer. And that's the reason why I have no sympathy for these people anymore. I'm done with sympathy for people who are actually in their own mess. Because of the fact is, most of these people cannot be convinced or gotten to. I know. You can try talking to them, but the moment they start running away and start rejecting what you have to say, leave them to suffer in their misery. Leave them to suffer in their misery, because they're part of the problem in this world. And that's why we're not getting anywhere. Them sitting there want to blame someone else for their own problems. That's their problem. That's their damn luck. And that's all I have to say on the topic. Whether you love it or you hate it. Because I can care less. Because I've spoken what I've spoken. Because truth is my sword and sovereignty is my shield. And it shall be yours too. If you understand those concepts. I'm done. I'm out of here. And good night.